A guy in China coughed. You are watching this video. Someone forgot to clean a nasty plate. We have penicillin. Yes. We are here to talk about butterfly effect. So think of it this way. The few initial Britishers that came from British to India and went back a few trips, if these people died by accident while coming or while going, the story of India now would be different. Yes, this is what butterfly effect talks about. The change at the very minute changes at the initial state of a system and how it affects the end results. Watch the video till the end. Let me give you an example. A scientist called Edward ran a simulation for 14 consecutive days to check the climate prediction, and he ran this test with only 3 decimal places, and by end of the 14th day it shows that all the oxygen in the planet has converted to ozone by 2018. He was so shocked to see the results, so then he ran the same simulation with 6 decimal places, and the results were so accurate. So 3 decimal places and 6 decimal places is not a big value, but this small change affected the net effect of the prediction. So when we talk about butterfly effect, we need to talk about another theory called chaos theory. So butterfly effect only talks about how the initial conditions, slight changes in initial conditions affects end results, but chaos theory on the other hand talks different. To explain chaos theory, I need to tell you an example. So think of it this case. It's easier to predict the planet's movement in the solar system or the planet's movement that are light years apart from the solar system, but it's difficult to estimate or predict the climate after every fifth day. It's just a 50% probability, but how can we predict movements of planets that are so far away but not the climate that happens in the earth? So the reason being is that the forces acting on the planets can be overweighted by the few of the majority forces, and the small negligible forces can be ignored. They don't need to be calculated. But when it comes to climate, each and every molecule will have a game role at the end result. So we need to calculate the position, and we need to consider every molecule behavior and how it interacts with the other molecules when it comes to climate. But predicting a planet can be overweighted. We just need to consider 3 to 4 weights, major forces, and that's all. You can predict the future of the planet movements. But climate, you need to consider a lot of other factors. This is called chaos theory. Butterfly theory talks about the small changes compound over and until it's widely published as a butterfly causing a tornado. That doesn't mean that butterfly flapping the wings doesn't really cause a tornado, but very small changes at the initial conditions of the tornado have led to the tornado. But on the other hand, chaos theory, even though the name says it's chaotic, it's not what the name says. So what really the chaos theory talks about is, like, I cannot predict the climate after 5 days. It's a wild case. It might rain, it might not rain, it may be sunny day, it might be a windy day. So after 5 days I cannot predict the climate, but I can predict that it will not rain diamonds or cars, or all of a sudden it won't rain gold out of nowhere. This is called chaos theory. The butterfly effect says that you cannot predict everything because small changes will affect the end result. But chaos theory, on the other hand, talks about you can predict everything, but it is within the system, within its own limitations. There are many possibilities, but it cannot cross this system. Let me give you an example of chaos theory. So in 1980, a Russian general, I don't know the name, it will come here. So he said no to launch a nuclear weapon. So the other 2 generals in the submarine thought there is a war between the Russia and America and they need to launch these nuclear weapons right now to win the war. But the other general said no. So no one launched the nuclear weapons and we don't have the Third World War. Chaos theory is like standing in a plain ground which is filled with full of fog. I cannot see far forward or far backward, but I can see everything around me. There is a fine line where this butterfly effect and the chaos theory meet. So what it says is everything is predictable, but at the same time not It's not possible to predict everything. That's the beauty behind the dynamics of the system. I cannot say how an individual human behaves, but I can say on a whole system how the humans behave. So I can mostly predict in next few years that there will be humans walking on the Mars, and in next hundred thousands of years we can harvest the energy of a sun in a nuclear power plant. This I can predict on the level of entire humanity, but I cannot predict how an individual human now behaves. Just like the thin line where the butterfly effect and the chaos theory meet, there are a lot of things that you cannot control, and there are a lot of things that you can control. So you can focus on the things that can be controlled and letting go things that cannot be controlled. There is a beautiful science behind the butterfly effect and the chaos theory. It's big, lot of environment is involved. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.